is Tony from her Homestead Skills, and I just wanted to do another little update on my canning jar finds. I was in another section of Ontario, and there was a fairly substantial Canadian Tire store there as well. So I thought I would go in and take a peek and see if they had any stock at all. And sure enough, right by the entrance, they didn't even wait to put it on the shelves. They just had a couple of skids right by the entrance so that you couldn't miss them. And they had both a skid load of wide mouth, of the regular mouth, I believe, of quart-sized jars, and they had another skid load of the pint-sized jars. So anyone who in Ontario, in Canada, who is looking for canning jars, I definitely highly recommend that you go to your local neighborhood Canadian Tire, or you phone them, or if the one closest to you doesn't have any stock, check the next one a little further away. They may have some. Definitely, I would suspect that the superstores, the larger ones, would definitely have stock from what I'm seeing. And personally, I don't understand this huge drop ship and skid loads of mason jars this time of year. It's November. Most Canadians I know would have done their canning in September and October. Most people that do can. You don't have canners in Ontario quite the same as what you do in the US, although maybe that could be changing. And it could be that this COVID and keeping people indoors and new gardeners and all of that is changing the canning world, and if it is, so be it. It's wonderful, nothing wrong with that. I certainly have never seen the likes of this before, either the demand for canning jars this time of year specifically. I mean, September, yes, you expect it. And whether or not a lot of this shipment is going to be sold now for next year, or whether some of it gets sold and the rest just sits there on the floor, well, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, definitely stock is definitely becoming available, but not at Walmart. Every time I go into a Walmart, I check and they have absolutely nothing. So my gut feeling there is that Walmart is looking after their US stores first, which is fine, and Canadian Tire is definitely bringing stock in for their they're a Canadian organization. So okay, so that's it for the canning supply update. I highly recommend that you check out your Canadian Tire stores, no matter where you're located in Canada. Okay, and the next little bit is my thrift store finds. I been a little bit busy and haven't had a tremendous amount of time to go shopping to the thrift stores, and I mean I go to more than one, otherwise I wouldn't find as many of the things that I like that I do find, and even then it's a struggle. But I did manage to find one print that I like, and it's very simple, black and white, very clean black and white print, numbered print with a dark black frame, and that will go very nicely on one of the walls in my home. And I'll have pictures of that up. I also found a meat grinder, a manual meat grinder, And as far as I'm concerned, that was in perfect shape. I opened it up and all the parts were there, which is nice. They had different cutting blades and they looked like they were packed in some sort of grease so that they wouldn't rust in a bag. And the clamps and the handle and all the bits and pieces seem to be there, which is good. Now, I didn't buy it. And the reason I didn't buy it was because I don't need it. Years back when we had our home and we had the space and we had a cold cellar, which is what you need, my husband and I would make pork sausages. And so we purchased a meat cutter attachment for my tomato machine. You know, it is available for that machine, and we purchased it, and that certainly, you know, so we would buy the pork shoulder, I believe it was, and I think there were 2 different cuts, but they were great big huge pieces, and we would buy them. He would clean them. Big job. Clean them, cut them into little bits, and then grind them, and then we would flavor it, and we'd buy the casings, and so between the 2 of us we'd make the sausages, and then we'd hang them in the cold cellar to cure. Certainly you could put them in the fridge, and we had done that, so that, you know, once they're made, they're uncured in the freezer, so, or the fridge, but the freezer for if you have any quantity. And but he preferred the cured ones, and so we haven't been able to do that so lately. So, but you know, well, I already have the machine in place to do it. Should we be able to find the environment to do that in again, I'm sure we'd love to do that. But yeah, it's a manual one is probably not a bad thing to have, and I've looked at it and I considered it, and I decided against it. Since I'm not even using the one I do have, there's no point in purchasing a second one. Okay, I'll be posting pictures of both the print and the meat meat chopper, and that's my video for now. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will catch you on the next one.